how if you're an expert in something, how you could teach people. And I used to be a teacher. I left teaching to get into real estate. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an expert. I could do that. So I literally left real estate and just went full time into just starting the coaching business.
Welcome to Performance Marketer, Krista Mashore.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Eric. At 27 minutes is when we finally started, so you can mark your things so you know where to
go. Oh, we could talk for hours. Every time I talk to you, we start talking about 25 things and it's like, oh my God, where's the time gone?
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I've known you for almost 2+ years when I joined the Inner Circle.
Yep.
You were always one of the ones that I really liked. I felt like you got it and I wanted to be around you. So I think this is a treat for people to be able to listen to you and hear what's going on. You've had some major success recently that I've seen, which is really exciting. And you're going to tell people about. But why don't you tell us a little about how you got started? How did you get into the online marketing world?
Yeah. So I've been in the online marketing world for about 10 years, but that was the last 4 years has really been more on a global level. Before that, it was more on a local level for me. I'm used to be and still am a real estate agent. I have a brokerage, but I'm 100% out of it. I'm more of like the face of the real estate business. And my brother is my partner, and he pretty much goes in and takes the listings and does all the work. If that makes sense. I'm just the face of it and the brains behind it. And I started a coaching business 4 years ago, actually 4 years ago in November. So it's just about 4 years. Yeah. And we were teaching real estate agents how to market themselves online, utilizing video and social media. And now we're launching, a much broader net of teaching local professionals, insurance agents, mortgage officers, financial planners, pretty much anything that has to do with real estate, but also kind of on the outer edge of real estate. Coaches, professionals, pretty much if you're an entrepreneur or you're a local professional, we can teach you how to do what we've done.
Are these people that are already online, or you're bringing people that are offline strategies on how to build their business?
Both. For most people don't have any idea how to market themselves, right? So they get their degrees and they get into their professions, and then they're like, okay, great. Now what do I do now? And they just think the business is going to come to them. So if you're somebody who's already online, we teach you how to do it on steroids. If you're somebody who's never been online or wants to do better, we teach you how to do that. And we've done we actually have hit the 20 million mark in under 4 years. So we had our first, we were actually $2,000 short of 2 million in gross sales for the month.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've had $10 million months in a row. So it's, over $1 million and over. So it's been pretty cool journey.
Which is wild because you've done 20 million, but yet if you look at the last month, you're on track to now do 24 million in 1 year.
Yeah.
If you maintain what you did.
Yeah. Right? So the goal is to maintain it, right? If not to do more, we're trying to, it's funny. It's like, it takes a long time to sort of I remember when I first joined the Inner Circle, I joined because I was in real estate and I was, in the top 1%, had been doing it for 17 years. And I was just burnt out. I mean, my best year in real estate, I sold 169 homes myself without a team. And the year that I exited to get into coaching, I sold 154 homes. So I was so tired. Like, real estate is probably one of the hardest professions. People think that they're overpaid. They're really not. It's like, it is just a challenging career. So I saw Russell when he was talking about, how if you're an expert in something, how you could teach people. And I used to be a teacher. I left teaching to get into real estate for reasons I won't go into, but I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an expert. I could do that. So I literally left real estate and just went full time into just starting the coaching business.
That's amazing. So when you're selling $2 million in a month, what do the programs look like? How do you get to 2 million? Is it $100,000 per person and you have 20 clients? Is it $1,000 and you're getting tremendous amount of clients? Like, what do the products look like? Just so people can wrap their head around like how you're getting to those numbers. I like to a big math guy.
So we have a $23,000 pay in full. But the average person pays around $27,500 because they pay payments. So our average last month, we did 95 new students into the program last month. And our
Nice.
strategy is we do a 5-day free challenge where we drive traffic to. The cool thing is that in that amount, we didn't even do $100,000 in Facebook ads last month. And we did, so the ROAS is pretty damn good. Now, obviously I've got employees and other expenses and things like that. We've got about 20 employees in the Philippines and we've got about 20 employees in the States. And so that's how we do it. And then they go from the 5-day free challenge into a 2-day $97 offer for a really, we've been getting to the point where our funnel is scaling at the cut. So what we're making in our funnel is what we're paying in ads. So it's kind of breaking even, if that makes sense at this point, or if
Amazing.
not, or half, right? So there were times where we'd like spend 100,000, make 50, or we'd spend 50 and we'd make 50. So we're kind of on the verge of, about 50% sometimes, or sometimes all the way.
Yeah. Well, very different, like my world versus your world, in that when you're at a high ticket coaching program, one sale of 27 grand is like, the amount of clicks that you can get for that is massive, right? So when you get 4 sales at 100 grand that you're spending on, you're already profitable, and you got 95 sales in 1 month.
Yeah, we were.
It's massive. It's really massive. It's like once you get it going and you realize that you can add value and charge, and people will pay for that, right? Like 27,500 for people listening may think that sounds like a lot, but what they get from that, the transformation that they have from being with you, is just it's life changing, right?
Oh gosh, we've made such massive impact on people. I mean, I'm obsessed with the customer experience. Before you got on, we were talking about how we've both invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in programs, and some of them are great and there's some of them that aren't. And, I'm just like, I never want anyone to leave my program and feel like they didn't get value. So we over deliver in our programs. There should be a 0 at the end of it, what people are getting. We're taking 20 years experience, hundreds, actually millions of dollars, honestly, of coaching and consulting and hiring professionals to teach me all this stuff. And we're giving it to people like a complete, here you go, step-by-step business in a box. Here's exactly what you do, how to do it, when to do it. And it's just like taking, 15 years and dropping it into one.
I love it. So you started off with real estate, but now when you're saying professionals, you could work with lawyers, right? You could work with mechanics. You could work with accountants,
Absolutely. Insurance agents, doctors, tax consultants, financial advisors, mortgage brokers, just pretty much anything. We will help, anybody that wants to do it, we're helping them, but we're trying to just keep it a little bit more in the real estate sector. So like financial advisor, real estate agent, mortgage lender, insurance agent, somebody who probate, things like that, just because it makes it a little bit easier when I do my events, that I'm not having to use like so many examples. And what we're doing is we're trying to make the program as turnkey and as easy for each professional that we bring in. So we're trying to sort of work on certain industries so we can just really turnkey it for them instead of just doing anybody, to make it
smart.
Really a turnkey business. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting, because what you figured out is that there's a simple step-by-step process, no matter what the business is, that if you follow it, that it works, right?
It's the same exact process that I teach my students that I did to launch my coaching business. And, it's the exact same strategy. So, imagine what we've done from 0 people knowing me online to do, over 20 million under 4 years is pretty crazy, right?
And I love, the content that you put out is just so amazing. You're like, no fear. You put yourself out there. You are as authentic as it gets. Whatever you're online, that's you. There's no like cameras on, act one way, and then you turn it off and you're somebody else like that.
Yeah,
they're getting you, right? And that's a beautiful thing. That's, because when you're putting yourself out there, you're vulnerable, and it's tough at sometimes, but on the flip side, it's real,
Yeah, people really, that's one thing I hear a lot. People appreciate the fact that they say, you're just so normal and you're so, vulnerable and you're so authentic. I hear that all the time. And I am like, I probably should be a little less authentic sometimes.
No, it's good. It's really good. So can you share with us like a high level framework on what that looks like for these professionals, so people can get some gold out of this?
Yeah. So we teach people how to create video content. And I know most people are afraid of creating video content. They'd rather eat dog food than have to record a video. And I was the same way. I still am sometimes. It's definitely something that anybody can learn, whether they are, have an accent or they're uncomfortable with how they look or whether they're new in their industry. Perception is reality. So when you create video content and you properly distribute it, which is a really, really big deal, right? Because so many people will create content and nobody ever sees it. In order to get organic posts to go viral, like less than 2%, it's like 0 to 2% of posts go viral. And there's over 1 billion hours of content posted on YouTube every single day. And people are on Facebook like crazy. So when you take content and video and you take that and you put it in front of your prospective client avatar, your community, or whether it be local or online, let them get to know you before you're asking them to do a specific call to action. That's the whole secret sauce. And so many people are doing it the opposite. They're like, download my lead magnet, go to my seminar, give me your information. But they forget to kind of, I always say, date their audience or flirt with their audience. Or, it's like if you want to get married or you see somebody that you think is super hot, you don't just say, hey, let's go screw, right? Like you don't. You just, sometimes you might want to, but what you do is you date them and you stalk them on Facebook, and then you start calling them and you text them and you email them, you FaceTime, and then you go to breakfast and lunch and dinner, and then you kiss, and then you get engaged, you get married, and then you jump in bed. So people are jumping into bed way too soon with their online community. And so we teach people how to, produce content that actually people want to watch, and how to dominate their industry and their profession, put their content in front of people so that they cannot be forgotten, and that everyone in their area and their industry knows who they are, so that when people are ready to utilize their services, that they already know who they are. If people don't know about your product and service until they're ready to take action, you're already too late. They have to know about you beforehand.
Totally. So when you're putting out the content, is there at any point in time you're trying to get them to take some sort of action, like a free something, give them away some value? Are you doing lead magnets? Are you giving away things? Or are you just pushing stuff out and just being in front of their face?
So like, for example, we are launching, and it doesn't need to be this long. We just aren't ready yet. So we're starting right now to get our free content in front of our next audience, right? Local professionals and entrepreneurs. And so, and this is just like being prolific, adding value, helping people. So we're not launching until April. So that's like 5 months of me putting content out there. Now, some people might think like, oh my gosh, Krista, like that's just, you're wasting your money and blah, blah, blah. You're not, because what happens is that now when I start to want to convert, people are much more likely to want to say yes, because they feel like they know me and I've already added so much value. So when I create a lead magnet later on, they're going to be like, yes, she's giving all this stuff away for me for free. Let me download. So let's put it on a shorter spectrum. You want to at least try to market to your audience around 30 days before you ask them to do anything. So the goal is to get them to take one more small action each time. So I create a video and they get to know me, and I'm targeting people and retargeting people with just more content. And then even to this cold audience, so now this audience is warm. Now I can say, hey, would you like to download this free guide or join this free group without having to give me any of their contact information? So now they're clicking, right? That's step 2. And then I'm saying, okay, now you've watched a few videos of me. Now you've clicked, or you even haven't. Okay. But you've at least watched a couple of videos. I'm targeting people, the specific information of what they originally were interested in. And now I'm saying, hey, can you give me your contact information? I'm going to give you even higher value, but it needs to be in exchange for your information, obviously a lead magnet. I don't start there. That's like the 3rd or 4th interaction.
Got it. So are you building audiences based off of the behaviors that they're taking online? So if you put out a video and then they click to download a guide, you don't even ask for their information. Now you know that person clicked and is interested in that guide, they download it. Now that person falls into a different segment that then is retargeted to in a different way than the rest of the audience.
Yes.
Like the cold audience, right?
Yep,
and then you're getting them to that next level. So you didn't get their information, so they didn't give you anything, so they think, but you still have them cookied, and you have this audience where now you can now retarget to them, knowing that they clicked, get them now to take that next step. They're likely interested because of the value that you already gave them, right?
Yeah. And then even with watching like 50% or more of my video, if you're watching 50% or more of my video, you're going into a retargeting audience where I'm going to have you watch more videos, right? So even just watching is just it's not quite as valuable as when they click, but sure, it means a lot. So they're going into these audiences. But then again, understand that now that they're in my funnel, in my group, and I own their contact information, I'm still always utilizing this philosophy. I'm still putting video content out to even my warm list and my hot list, because I want to continue to develop that relationship, continue to nurture, continue to be top of mind. So it's not like every single time I'm asking for something, right? They're still seeing my content.
Yeah, I think that's important. A lot of people, they get so intimidated when they hear that, because it's like, it's all the tech mumbo jumbo of, oh my God, like, how do you do that? It's really not. Like, I'm not so techie. I don't think you're that techie. And
no,
it's pretty simple. If people are freaking out listening to that, really, there's just, you put an ad out into the marketplace, or you put some content out, and then you're able to track impressions, you're able to track clicks, right? And then you create those audiences, and anybody that knows how to buy ads on Facebook knows how to do that.
And that's something you could, it's not hard to learn. Like, we just taught ourselves how to run Facebook way back when, and we ran our own ads for, gosh, 2.5 years, until finally we were like, okay, we're just getting too big now, and we need to, like, it's just too much. It's a full-time job. We're just going to hire a company to do it that does it all day long. But for the first, 2.5 years, we did it all ourselves. And it works. It's not a hard thing. It's just different. So, don't think hard. Think different, people.
And it makes sense. Like, what you're doing is very similar to, like, when there's a movie coming out and they have the trailers that are playing prior to the movie coming out. Then they do this roadshow being on, David Letterman and Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon. I'm dating myself. Jimmy Fallon.
I love it, though, what you're saying, though. I need to start using that analogy before. I think it's actually said that to me with me before. It's so true. It's exactly what's happening.
But I mean, yeah, and you roadshow, getting in front of people, just kind of like teasing them on some things that are going to be coming out. And then once they're warm, they're like excited, and you get in a pump, right? That's exactly what you're doing. I mean, you're like an actress.
Yeah,
a famous actress pushing a movie.
Yeah. So and it's like, it's funny. It works so well in your area. So, like, think about this. And it works really well locally. So if you're listening to this, I want you to think about when I say real estate agent, or I say mortgage lender, or I say divorce attorney, or I say insurance agent, or I say financial advisor, is there somebody that automatically comes to mind? 95% of people are going to say no. Okay. No. Sometimes they might think of a realtor, but it's because the realtor does a lot of business in their area, right? It's not because they do a lot of, or in their neighborhood, not because they just are known. So if you can't say yes to that, then that means that there's an opportunity out there, right? And even if you can say yes, if there's just one you think of, there's an opportunity out there. Ask yourself this question: when people think about you, your product, your service, do you come to mind? And if you don't, then you are doing it wrong, right? Like, if they don't think about you, like, I can say, anytime anybody thinks about real estate in my local community, right, in the multiple cities around me, I can pretty much guarantee, if you asked 100 people, do you know who Krista Mashore is? 90 of them would say absolutely yes. And they'd say, what's her best trait? Well, she's a master marketer, they'd tell you, right?
Yeah.
As well as a great real estate agent. That's what you have to be able to say yes to when you're asking yourself, do people know me? And if they don't, then there's a lot of potential for you.
So when you're creating content, are you helping the people with what content to put out? I know people freak out. They're like, what should I talk? What should I talk about? And like, they'll keep themselves cooking. Like helping them with the step-by-step process. Cause it's so intimidating. I mean, for me, when I first put myself online, I was like, oh man, really? I'm going to start doing that and putting in front of people I know. And, it's like, it's funny. I started off, when I did content, I first was doing it on new channels for business and not doing it on my personal channel. I was using social media for just fun and personal. And one time I was using one of those, like I think it was like the Yard House or something, where like it connects onto all different platforms. And I accidentally went live on my Facebook profile. And the responses that I got from that was like 10x of any other platform that I created. And I was like, oh my God, wow. Like, I didn't realize, but the reason is because people knew me. They already knew who I was and what I was about, right? The other ones I'm trying to build a relationship with, and they're newer, but they didn't know anything about me. So with the engagement was, it was okay. It wasn't great, and I'm still like in this world. But the cool thing was, when I first started putting content out, no one was looking at me. So it didn't matter what I said, so I was able to screw up. I always tell people that, like, when you're going to go online and just create content, like, you're not going in front of 1 million people. Like, if you get 10 people to watch your content day one, then you did a good job. You're going to screw up. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to grow. You can't look at, like, your audience and what you're doing and expect somebody to be doing that day one, right? Because I think that they're scared. I think people are really scared to do that. But even the part that you're bringing, which is really valuable, is the ability to create targeted audiences that I don't think people understand. It's not just the content. The content is the carrot to get, who's interested in what.
If you're not paying money to put ads and putting ad spend behind creating your content, no one is seeing it. Don't waste your time. Don't worry about my personal page or my business page. It's on your ads manager. You're running ads and you're targeting people and you're retargeting people and you're creating lookalike audiences and you're, all, and none of that's hard. It sounds hard, but it's not hard. If you're worried about creating content, unless you're willing to learn how to create it and actually get it to be seen and to get visibility, don't waste your time or money. But yeah.
So is there one platform that you would recommend? Do you start on one platform or?
I think Facebook for most people is the best platform, unless you're a little bit younger, on the younger tendency, between 18 and 30 is a little bit more Instagram driven, but Facebook is like 99% of my business. We literally just started marketing on YouTube a month ago. So all of the money that we have generated has come, and we have people of all different ages, and has come from Facebook. So it's been wonderful for us. And yes, it's been getting harder. Yes, there's problems, but any type of platform that you use is going to have problems. The whole goal is to take people off of the platforms and to own their list, so that you can, you own the traffic. So that's your goal ultimately. So as these platforms do, and in fact, our email list. So when we first started doing our 2-day event, the first month we did $1.4 million. Our first month doing it, and it was like all from our list, because our Facebook ads were just like, Facebook was acting up. My ad account wasn't like letting me approve anything. So for the first 2-3 months, it was like 90% straight from our list, right? And then our list got kind of worn out. And so we realized just how important list building is. To drive traffic to the 2-day event is around $250, right? And it was as high as at times $500 or $600. But to get somebody and on my list is so much more affordable. Like we can do like a $4 book lead or a $6 book lead, even less sometimes for free stuff. Now but that list is so strong and converting, especially when you segment it and you don't like oversaturate emailing about whatever you're trying to fill it.
Totally. I mean, that's what I do, right? That's my whole world.
It is what you do. Yeah.
I mean, that's it. That's why we're building the platform, the survey platform. I mean, it's all about leads. But so what you just said was really interesting, right? Like you have this big list and you're hitting this list in the beginning, but it got stale, right? That's why you have to have this engine of leads continuously coming in. If you continue to buy leads that are coming in, then you get them off the Facebooks and the YouTubes, so you're not tied to them. And then you keep that same back end process, and it's a beautiful thing. That's why it's like, I always say, like, my world is like, there'll always be something. Someone will always want to buy leads if there's a business out there, because that's the gas that drives the car.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really cool. When you're coaching people, when they're coming in for this, are you teaching them how to sell their product or service, or are you showing them how to build an info product business and a coaching business?
No, I teach them how to sell themselves, basically. So I'm not teaching people how to become coaches. I'm teaching them how to gain exposure so that people want to buy their services, right? And whatever that search is that service a real estate agent? Is it a lender? Is it a mortgage officer? Is it a financial advisor? Like I'm coaching them to gain exposure into their client avatar that they're going after. And a lot of what I teach, I mean, big time, is mindset. Like I'm a super huge, heavy mindset person. So I inspire people. I always tell people my God-given ability was to inspire and motivate people. Like God put me here on this earth to get people to believe in themselves and believe that they can do anything and everything they put their mind to. That's my God-given talent. And that's what I help people to do, because so much of what I teach, I mean, not so much, but you can learn anything online, anything can be Googled, but people need the support and the systems and the belief. And sometimes they have to take the belief from me for a while until they finally believe in themselves, because it is hard. It's hard building a business. It's hard putting yourself out there, right? So we teach them how to believe in themselves and to have a really super strong mindset and belief in what they're doing, and how to have a complete competitive, a unique value proposition that makes them stand out from their competitors.
Totally. Believe in yourself and prepare to fail.
Yes,
Expect to
exactly.
fail, right?
Yeah.
That's the best part about it. The failure is a good thing. Don't be afraid to fail.
But when
Um,
you're failed though, you're really not failing. You're just learning what didn't work, right? And so
exactly.
it's like it's just a part of the process, you know?
Exactly. And hopefully you can learn from you so you don't have to fail, right?
Yes,
Take the
exactly.
bumps that you already had and go. So you wrote a bunch of books. That's impressive.
Yes, we've written 4 best-selling books. The latest one is the Digital Marketing Playbook. This was what I had on the seats at Funnel Hacking Live. Russell let me put this on the seats, which was awesome. So I got to put that on the seats at FHL. And
Amazing.
yeah, so it's been really, really great.
And is it hard to write a book? Does it take a long time? I mean, you're
Yes,
so busy, it seems
it
like.
takes a long time. My husband at first, he's like, "Why are you up at 3 in the morning?" He's like, "Here's me on the typewriter," you know. Like he'd feel like, "Oh God, you're writing another book again." I just told him I was like, "I think I'm gonna write another book," and he's like, "No."
That's funny.
It's a
That's hilarious.
lot more sleepless nights when you're writing a book.
This is amazing.
But you know, I'll
Well,
tell you what, the book has been one of the second best lead magnet into my coaching program because people read the book and it's so much value and so much help. And they realize like, I need help doing this. So yes, it's
totally.
been a lot of time, but if you take the amount of time it's taken me and the money I've made from it, what really wasn't a lot of time.
What's the number one thing?
My 2-day event.
Your 2-day event. Tell us
Mhm.
about that.
I have a 2-day event. So the strategy is I get people into a 5-day challenge that's an hour long a day. It's free. Okay. Those leads typically range around, they used to be around $12 with Facebook and everything that's happening. They're around $24 a lead. Okay. The good thing about that is the lead cost is low. The bad thing about it is because it's free, about 25% of people show up to the actual challenge. Now, industry standard for a challenge is between 10 and 25% show up. We are on the high end because of all of the follow-up that we do and the marketing that we do and what we do to get them to show up, right? Out of the ones that show up, typically we find that at the end of the 5 days, there is around 60% of the people that, and that's on a high time, right? 60% of the people that joined will stay. And it's because it's free. And it's also because most people are not willing to do what it takes to actually, go to the end. On day 4, and the challenge is set up to help them have small, tiny wins and successes. It's also there to help overcome their limiting beliefs and also there to help them get to know me so they realize that, hey, she's a real person and I like her and, maybe I want to work with her. So on the 4th day, we offer them to a $97 2-day live virtual event. Okay. And on that live virtual event, it is teaching them best practices in business, tons of working on their mindset and tons of getting them to believe. And from that, we typically close around 24 to 29% of the people that show up that we end up closing into our $27,000 programs.
So is this the 5 days and then it's just day 6 is the event?
No, it's a 2-week cycle. So every 2 weeks I have a 5-day event, and then 2 weeks after that I have the 2-day event. So it's every 2 weeks. So it's once a month each.
So the 5-day free challenge, is there 4 or 5-day free challenges before the 2-day event?
No, it's just the 5-day challenge is just once a month. So it starts on a Monday, ends on a Friday. I do that once a month. That rolls into 2 weeks later, the 2-day event. 2 weeks later from that is the 5-day challenge, and that's how it is.
And you're personally there doing the 1 hour per day.
Yep. We tried to do it virtual and it just didn't have it just wasn't the same. It didn't have the conversions. And so, I know it'd be great to be able to,
make it evergreen. Pre-recorded.
Yeah. Just people can tell and they know. And it's like people just want interaction. They love when you say their name. They love when you talk directly to them. And there's, especially now with everything we have going on in the world and what's happening, people, they just want to be a part of something and not just feel like they're just, another number watching a TV.
I think a huge mistake that a lot of people make is they record it one time, then they just push it out. And then they don't understand why it's not converting. When as you're doing this, you're learning from the people that you're working with, right? Totally. And it gets better and better and better. So like if you wanted to do it where you could have evergreen, you really got to do it for at least 6 months, a year, 2 years. So it's just perfect, like the perfect time that you just close everybody. And then maybe then you can do it,
What you're saying is so true. So first of all, I studied like sales and selling techniques for the past 3 years, right? And in the past 12 months, all of our focus has 100% been on this process, the 5-day event, the 2-day. I mean, literally, that's the only thing that we do. Okay. We do every time we have an event, we write down all the questions people ask and what the objections are. And then those get put into the next event. So we have changed the event and the recordings every single time. And, last month was definitely, I mean, we went from 1.4 the month before to just, like I said, $2,000 under 2 million. So we had a $600,000 increase in 1 month based upon just tweaks that we made, Now there's been months we lost $400,000 less because we made a tweak. So I always try to change one thing. So for example, one time we were like, okay, put down $2,000 and you're going to get to, and it's like it's your spot to go in. And we lost a lot of money by doing that, right? We have found that the number one best way to get people to convert is to be able to allow them to get on the phones and talk with somebody. Now, this does create another problem. Now I have to have a sales team, right? And I don't have a huge sales team because 99% of my sales literally come from the 2-day event. The sales team we haven't perfected them being, as good as closers the rest of the time. So they're literally like 3 days after the event, just on the phones from 5 a.m. until like 8:00 at night. So that's hard on people, right? They're bonused and they're incentivized. So they do it. And it's not difficult, but we have found, we've tried different ways of doing things. The very best call to action for us. And again, we've done this now 11 times because we had 2 events in January of this year, has been to book a call. We tell them the price. We have one call to action, which is book a call, right? We answer as many questions as possible throughout after we do the training. And that's just been the best. And even like one of my mentors, who's a master closer, like he's literally a master closer. You know who I'm talking about, Russell. Russell told me, he tried to help me at the last FAT event. And he's like, do the 20th 3K, just make the offer. Now, when I did that, we had, I want to say this wrong, but I think we had $367,000 worth of people that just paid without talking to anyone. Okay. Which is crazy, right? To spend, that's a huge amount. It's actually a pretty darn good record, but we didn't have as good of a month. Like we lost, a significant amount of money. Like if you compare to this month and that, right? About $1 million difference. So it was great that we got, that money just to go straight to a call and book and pull out their credit card. But the amount of money that we lose by not letting them get on the phone hurts. Now, another thing you got to think about when you have this kind of thing is that when somebody goes to an event, whether it's virtual or live, getting them to take action sooner is always better. The longer that they leave. So like, for example, conversions are super high Tuesday, super high Wednesday, high on Thursday. And we start to see more cancellations and lower conversions just come Friday. So from Tuesday, when they can book a call, right? And Wednesday and Thursday, it's like all of a sudden you start to notice, okay, people are canceling, people are harder to convert because their belief system and the excitement has gone. So that's one of the harder things by it. Yeah, I'd love to be able to figure out, how to.
So do you run your 2-day events Sunday and Monday so that Tuesday starts the sales?
We do it Monday, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday. So Tuesday is when you start to get them going. So you have the people that are going to take action right away. Then you have the people that are going to ask a shitload of questions. Then there's going to be people that ask for the proof. Then you're going to put the urgency, right? And say, okay, it's ending. If you don't take it by XYZ, you lose it. And then the FOMO people come in and buy it.
Yep. Right? And then the longer, so it's already been, and we started this in January. January was our first time we did it ever. Actually, I'd never done never had done a live event before that. And now we're having, conversions from January, February, March, because some people they just need more time. Yeah. They show up to the event like 3 times and finally they're ready to do it. Right. So now we're starting to see more conversions that happen from, past people that show up.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that. I would imagine like as they're coming, if not ready, they can come back the next month and the next month. And you're probably seeing sales totally. That makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. And these people are doing a year coaching program at that point?
Yeah, it's a year-long coaching program. And then after that, they can stay and they can go in with continuity with us. And our fallout rate is just very, 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 very low. Like we just offer so much value and we keep updating it and giving them more stuff. Like people just don't want to leave and they love the community because the community is so dang helpful. I mean, man, I've never seen anything like it with this community. They are all about helping one another. So they don't want to leave because of that,
So powerful. Community is so powerful. So what happens? You create like a Facebook group for
Yep.
them. How does it work?
We
How
have
do
a
they?
Facebook group that they can access. Part of the reasons why my program is so successful, why people have so much success, is that we have daily accountability calls that they can jump on. There's I think 12 different time slots. They also have a personal accountability coach. They have daily drop-in office hours, or at least 2 per day, if not 3, where they can drop in and for an hour and ask a question and get help when they're stuck. They have live coaching with me twice per week for 1 hour. We've just done anything and everything that we can to we make it like completely step by step. We don't put like week 1, week 2. It's like step by step, because some people take 2 weeks to do things, some people take 1. We're relentless about mindset. We have a 0 asshole policy. So the culture is really, really good. Like they know it's like, if you're an a-hole, you're out. Like, and like we literally mean it. We don't take any BS. We teach them how to be resourceful, not complainers. So, I would say about in our group, we have like 85% of people are just so great. Of course, you always have a couple stragglers that tend to be negative anyways, but very, very rare.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. And I like that you, instead of you having to do it where everybody works at the same pace, everybody has different lifestyles. So
yeah,
the fact that you have it by step 1, step 2, some people might take a month, some people might take a week, right? And the fact that you have it set up that they can do it at any time. There's like pre-recorded videos. How does that work?
yeah. So we have like they go into a module training on Kajabi, and we teach them step by step how to do things. They also get a virtual, if it's allowable in one in-person event a year. They love the in-person events because they it just gets them all excited again. It gets them collaborating. We just had our first live one in a year and a half, 2 weeks ago, and that was really, really great. I don't sell anything at that. It's just pure value, and to help them get to really get them motivated and inspired, and to keep them, the camaraderie up between them.
Does Russell know that you don't sell anything?
I don't know. I know you're telling me to sell something. I know.
Yeah, that's great though. That's awesome. I mean, you're amazing. That's so cool. So, I mean, I don't know. There's so much gold you just dropped that I'm like, I have notes here of just like, holy cow, my brain is like on fire. You're so awesome. So where can people go to find you and start if they want to go to the 5-day free challenge? You can give me the link and I'll give you the
link. Yeah. I don't know the link. I have one.
We'll put it below.
Yeah, there's one link. It's
whoever's listening here, we'll put it below. There'll be a link for you to go to Krista's thing.
Yeah. And just go to Krista Mashore. Anytime I have the challenge and all that stuff, we have the links everywhere, and there's the free link. And then I'll also get you a link to my audio copy and my digital copy of my book, The Ultimate Lead Gen Playbook. So I'll have my team get that to you too, so that people can listen or download if they want.
That's perfect. Oh, you're rocking. So you're giving somebody a book and a free challenge. Oh my God, I think I'm going to do it. That'll be awesome.
You should do it. Study me. Everyone else is freaking funnel hacking me. I'm getting hacked like crazy I'm like, that is my exact copy and funnel. Why you should? It's hacking, not stealing. No.
Yeah. You model. You don't model.
Yes.
Right. Totally. Well, unfortunately, you're always going to run into that, but that means that you're doing something right. And there's always going to be people out there that are going to follow you when you're kicking butt. So
I love it.
Don't pay attention to those people. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're really you're making an impact and you're killing it. So God bless you.
I appreciate you. And thanks for having me so much.
Yeah.
Eric, I think you're adorable. And I can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.